Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of Jordan and Drew, the Sports Crew, the EWC Girls Basketball Preview. So football's over. Now we did a football recap, so go listen to that if you have not. And now we're talking EWC Girls Basketball, and we got the perfect guest for it. Of course, Robert Shimek. Robert, how you doing tonight?
Doing great.
That's awesome. And yeah, we're going to do a girls basketball preview episode for the Eastern Wisconsin Conference. And you'll be hearing this on a Thursday. And then tomorrow, what will be released is the EWC boys basketball preview. So that'll be a great episode as well. And let's get right into it here. We're going to talk about the girls basketball season now. So we got, Robert, you made some posts already about the power rankings for the girls. You did the top 10 players, and I guess we'll go from bottom to top here. We're going to start with the Chilton Tigers. Other than having Olivia Hurl, who you put actually at the number 4 in the conference for players, not really much from this Chilton Tigers team, is there?
No, I believe they won one game last year. Maybe they won one more. I think they won one game last year.
One, yep.
Yeah, and she's a decent player. I think I watched her play, I think, once. She's the bright spot on this really thin team. Chilton only averaged 26 points per game last year, and she had 16 of those.
Mm-hmm.
And so, really the only – she's really their only – hopefully she can just score for them this year. And I think her and Sadie Bartles are their two best players. I think Hurl, she'll average 18 points a game, and she'll just get her shots. They'll just go through her, and that's pretty much what this Chilton team will be about.
Yeah, and we saw her last year getting first team all-conference recognition, so presumably she's going to repeat that again this year, but we'll see what happens, and we'll move on to the next team, the Sheboygan Falls Falcons. So this team really, it's been a couple years now for this Falcons team when they had success. Last year, 1-13 in conference, 4-16 overall. We haven't seen someone really step over our team since Emma Woolert was that conference player of the year. I believe that was already 2 years ago. So for this Falls team, they're just looking for any sort of offense or someone, can put them back on the map like they used to be for such a dominant stretch of years.
Yeah, they lost their leading scorer, Amber Spats from last year. Rihanna Christ and Dayton Thiel, I think, will be okay players for them. But, yeah, I remember I watched them. They played that sectional game at Brillion 2 years ago when they had Wallert and those good Sheboygan Falls teams. And I remember they won, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, a long time ago. But anyways, yes, obviously they just don't have much since those teams. And, yeah, not much here for Sheboygan Falls. Hopefully, I think they'll have a better year because I don't think they lose too many besides their leading scorer. But, yeah, not too much here to get excited about. But who knows?
Yeah, you're right. Who knows is right. And let's get right to the next team here. Number 6, the Roncalli Jets. And this team's losing its top 2 players in Stelzer and Nelson, and they were both first-teamers last year. And yeah, with them gone, there's a lot of turnover for this Roncalli Jets girls team. So that's going to be a big question there. Who's going to step in and who's going to fill those missing spots now with those 2 seniors gone? So what do you think about this Jets team this year?
Yeah, they lost their top 3 scorers. And I don't even really know who I would even look for. I recognize some of these names: Jenna Garceau, Caitlin Frice, Ellie Jagaman, Jenna Schramm. I did actually ref one of their games this summer league. I refed one of their summer league games, and they looked okay, but they shoot it. They shot it a lot, but I don't know. They just graduation really hit them hard, and I don't see them getting a better record than they did last year, losing the players that they did.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's move to the next team. We got my Valder's Vikings here sitting at number 5. And I got to agree. I think the middle of the pack is the right spot for them. It's going to be interesting. They're losing Wagner and Brunmeyer, both who received conference recognition last year, but they're returning Carissa Hummel, who's one of the top players in the conference. So that's definitely going to be a bright spot for this team. They got some other players returning back who got some decent playing time last year, and Taylor Hummel as well. And so this Valder's girls team, I think the middle of the pack is a good spot for them, but it'll be interesting. Maybe they can sneak up to 4. We'll have to wait and see, though.
Yeah, I mean, Carissa Hummel, I think I had her at 8. She could be as high as 5, I think, or even 4. Maybe not. I think, yeah, high as 4 or 5. I just looked at a lot of things. That's kind of how the rankings go. Once you get past your big 4, your big 3, that middle tier's, really. So I think she's just as good as a Kenzie Graff or a Maya Emmer, but I sat her lower there just because of finish for conference. But yeah, I think she'll have a good year. And Valder, I think Valder's will be actually fine. They've been historically pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's move to number 4 here. We're seeing the new Holstein Huskies, and seeing them at number 4 for the girls. That's good seeing them in the top again. It's been a while for this Huskies team for the girls department, and they're returning the second leading scorer in the conference in Grace Shizzle. So she averaged 16.9 last year. She is coming back for this Husky team. I mean, we saw her she was a sophomore last year, so we'll see her junior year this year, and she was second team last year, and she's definitely going to be the main star for this Husky team. And I think number 4, I think it's a great spot for them. What else do you want to add about the Huskies, Robert?
Yeah, Grace Shizzle, I think she had 41 or 42 in a game last year where she just hit a bunch of threes, I think, on a bad team, but still, I mean, just scoring 41 just by shooting threes, that means you can shoot. Yeah, she's the best shooter in the conference, probably the best. She's the best guard in the conference. So I think they're going to have to run through her. Lauren Danis, she's a good player. Alyssa Wolfel, some of these names I recognize. And, I mean, I watched them twice last year. They just pretty solid both times. I think, obviously, they got to run through Shizzle, and they got to keep getting her shots and just not get her shut down just because, 3-point shooters or predominantly shooters, they can get shut down a little easier. So as long as she's getting her shots and they just play as a team, I think they'll have a pretty good year.
Yeah, and now moving to the number 2 team, this is where it gets a little dicey. You can go Keel or Brilliant here, I feel. We're gonna go Keel here. I saw you you went Keel as well. I'll agree with you. I think Keel is the better team here, or Brilliant's the better team over the 2. So with the Keel Raiders, I mean, this team is returning a good chunk of players who received conference recognition, and Corn Fromm, Emma Alderman, Allison Ash, and of course Jocelyn April as well, and the second team. So they have a good group of girls returning for this Raider team, and they're definitely going to be the team that challenges Brilliant the most, I feel, in the conference. And what else do you want to add about this Raiders team?
Yeah, they got a new coach this year, formerly Brilliant assistant coach Jamie Vandermeus, and he'll do a good job. Right now, Keel's losing by 2 to WLA at halftime in their first game. I watched like a little bit of it. I just kind of wanted to see what the score is. Yeah, I mean, Jocelyn April, I think I'd say she's their best player along with Emma Edelman. Those are their 2 best players. And then, Allison Ash rebounds well. And then you got Brooklyn Munns and Corinne Fromm. She does a good job too, shooting and, being a lengthy guard. But I like this Keel team. I think they can really give Brilliant fits when they play them. Like I said, their coach knows the Brilliant system very well, so look for that. And I mean, last year I think it was a one or 2 point game. Keel lost to Brilliant. They played them really close both times, and I think they have 4 to 5 really good players who are just deep, and they're just really deep. They don't rely on 1 or 2 people, girls to play, and a little bit of everything from them. They're really balanced well, good guards, good forwards. So yeah, they're definitely a top 2 team.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, the team to beat in the conference this year, yet again, the Brilliant Lions are coming off a 21-3 season, 13-1 in conference. And looking at this team, I mean, they have the player of the year returning in Megan Schumann, all conference first team, unanimous, of course. And then plus Maya Emmer as well. And just this brilliant team. They're certainly the team to beat. I mean, Schumann, 18.4 points a game. Just a really great junior class. I mean, if you look at the roster, I mean, you see a bunch of class of 2023s because that class for basketball for the girls is just something else. Even in boys, I mean, you got Lorenz there as well. And just how do you want to add to this Lions team? You think a conference repeat seems likely?
Yeah, if they can take care of Keel, I don't see how they don't win the conference. I mean, obviously, I think they're easily the front runner. They won it last year and didn't lose anybody who really contributed last year. And obviously Megan Schumann's the best player by a wide margin in the conference. And then Maya Emmer's just a solid guard. She doesn't shoot it great. She finishes. She's not a great defender, but she handles it as good as anyone in the conference, and she's feisty. And then you got shooters, Aubrey Williams, McKenna Dietrich. You got shooters there, and they're just really, really solid. Olivia Shue is probably their third best player. I didn't even bring up her. Yeah, really solid, really deep. Elena Schwann too, and I mean, I think they obviously will repeat if they can take care of Keel both times. And yeah, I don't think there's much else. Although they're playing Freedom right now. I think they're down 20 at halftime, and Freedom is, I believe, probably the favorite to come out of their sectional. Freedom's a really tough team, and from what I got, Brilliant's looking a little rusty, but they are playing Freedom, who's just a really talented team. But yeah, I don't, in conference play, I don't really see them losing more than 1 or 2 games, if any.
Yeah, I agree with you. And we got to go back to a team we missed here. I mean, I think they fall with Keel in the terms. I mean, you could even put them with maybe even they challenge Brilliant once in a while, or they could. The Two Rivers Raiders, we got to mention here. I mean, they have 2 of the top 5 players in the conference, which you mentioned as in your top 10 players, and Ali Kakis and Kenzie Graff. And this TR team could be a tough team to beat. I mean, they could be a team that could knock off one of those top dogs in the conference, like coming back last year, 8-6, 10-7 overall. But they have 2 great seniors returning in those 2, in Graff and Kakis. So, yeah, we missed the Raiders, but I think they will. The 2 Raiders teams in the conference, I think they'll be 2 tough teams to beat as well.
Yeah, obviously I think I said Schumann's the best player, but Kakis, I don't think she's far off, but she's the second best player, and I think she's easily the second best player, just a tough post player. And Graff is in there too. Nothing really else after them, and that's going to be TR's issue this year, is when teams are just going to pack it in, force them to shoot from the outside, and then it's going to be some tough days if teams do that and they can't really shoot from the outside or can't get Kakis and Graff touches. But other than that, I mean, I think in general they'll be in the top 3-4 of the conference just because of those 2 players. And yeah.
So to round it out here, I'll read down the lines. We got Brilliant 1, Keel 2, TR 3, New Holstein 4, Valder's 5, the Roncalli Jets at number 6, Sheboygan Falls 7, Chilton Tigers 8. So I kind of broke it into some tiers here, Robert. I want to know what you think. I say kind of a top tier here. I think we can go Brilliant and Keel, and then I was thinking about I put TR at number 3 based on the fact, I mean, they have that firepower with Graff and Kakis. And then I went in a middle tier, I went New Holstein and Valder's, I said. And then the bottom 3, I went Jets, Sheboygan Falls, and Chilton. And maybe we could even put Chilton and Sheboygan Falls on their own tier in the bottom. But what do you think about that? Is there something you changed there?
Yeah, I'd put Chilton and Sheboygan Falls kind of at the bottom. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously you got who else is – and then Roncalli, I think they'll just be better than them. And then, yeah, I like that middle tier. Valder's, New Holstein, I think, are a little comparable. And I'd put Two Rivers in that middle tier. And then, yeah, I think Keel and Brilliant are definitely your top 2. I mean, I think Brilliant's has higher potential than Keel, but at times, they're kind of up and down. So yeah, I think that's your top tier.
Perfect. And yeah, I mean, we talked about like this EWC for girls basketball, they're in really great hands here. Just looking back at conference recognition last year, there's not many seniors. It's really hard to find some seniors. It's a lot of sophomores and juniors and even some freshmen. So great hands for the EWC for girls for this year and the next year. So unlike the boys, which we'll talk about, where it was a lot of seniors involved in that conference team from last year. But Robert, is there anything else you want to add right now about the girls team, the girls conference?
No, I mean, really, I think we covered pretty much all of it. There's not really too many players that got left off the list that I want to be like, watch this person. And I mean, for the boys, I think I have a lot of players to watch, but yeah, really, I don't see many with the girls that I just know of that are just going to pop off.
Well, Robert, I got a surprise for you here. We're going to see how well you know your Brilliant Lions for girls basketball. I got some trivia here. We got 3 questions. You ready? All right, let's go. True or false? Was Megan Schumann a unanimous selection for first team her freshman year? True or false?
False.
True, she was. She was unanimous her freshman year for first team.
Yeah, makes sense. I just assumed freshmen usually don't.
That just shows how talented a player she is. I mean, but all right, here we go, Robert. Question 2. Last year, who gave Brilliant its lone conference loss for girls basketball?
Roncalli.
Yep, 52-55 loss Thursday, January 7th at Brilliant. So, all right, you're 1 for 2, Robert. Let's see if you can go 2 for 3 for the Brilliant Lion faithful. Let's go here. What team ended the Brilliant girls basketball season?
Wrightstown.
Yep, you got her. 2 for 3 for Robert Shimek. So he's not perfect for the girls basketball. That's okay. 2 for 3, we'll take it. But yeah, Robert, I just wanted to throw 3 fun questions in there for girls basketball season. As you said, I mean, it kicked off 2 days ago now. It was Tuesday night was some of the first non-con games, and it'll be a lot of fun. And what's your plan again, if you want to tell the audience for how you're going to post about it throughout the year?
Yeah, so, I mean, I initially planned on being at most games and just posting a lot. Girls, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not going to do – I think it gets kind of annoying when there's games every night, so I'm not going to post every girls' game. Later in the year when there's some games that are important for rankings and conference standings, I think I'll do that. And throughout the season, maybe every 2 weeks, I'll kind of update who's leading the stats, who's looking good, surprise people in the standings. But I just think it would get too annoying if I'd post every, Chilton's playing Young Cogs tonight, or Chilton's playing this team, or New Holstein's playing them. I think it'd just get a little annoying. So I'm obviously not going to do games. I'll do standings. Well, maybe every 1 to 2 weeks, in rankings every 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a fair way to look at it. So be on the lookout for those updates from Mr. EWC himself at EWC_sports on Instagram is where you'll find him. Us, Instagram, Jordan Drew _sports crew, Facebook, Jordan Drew the Sports Crew, and YouTube, Jordan Drew the Sports Crew. So yeah, with that being said, thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Jordan Drew the Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.